Welcome to day 6 of your yoga advent calendar. Today we're going to focus on pigeon. It was a request that came through for Jackie, so this is for you. We're going to have a look at ways that we can use it to strengthen our hips and ways that we can use it to stretch them out. So you might hear yoga teachers saying, or people saying, oh, you store a lot of emotion in your hips. I don't know how that is physically possible, but I think similar to when you tense up your shoulders and your neck when you're stressed, I think we do it subconsciously as well, around the hip area as well. So that's why we feel when we're tense and emotional, we feel tight in the hips. So while I've got you, I normally don't have time to explain why I've stopped teaching what you might think is the traditional alignment for this posture. So while I've got you, when I was learning yoga, we were told that for your pigeon to be correct, you needed to have your right knee, or if you'll say, for argument's sake, the right knee right to the edge of the mat, and then your foot, you need to wiggle it forwards and flex it so that you've got your shin parallel to the top of the mat. And then square your hips, and then that is your pigeon. And yes, it does feel it's more difficult that way, but actually, it really feels weird on my outer knee, and I think you get a lot of people with knee injuries and things. So I've stopped teaching it that way because it doesn't work in my body, and I think it's not a very healthy position for your knee to get in, because if you look, it's naturally off the ground when my ankle's forward and my foot is flexed, and then we're coming forward and putting weight on it in a position it doesn't want to be in. Whereas if the toe is pointed, look, the knee goes down. I'm not doing that for the camera, it really does. So try it on yourself, point the toe. You don't need to have the foot all the way forward. Your knee's already on the floor, so then you're not putting your knee in a weird position. All right, so let's come into pigeon on the right. If you're not warm, maybe pause the video and maybe jump up and down a bit so that you've got a bit of warmth in your muscles before we come straight into quite a deep hip stretch. So if you've paused, welcome back. We're taking the right knee out to the right side. Bring your hands onto the mat, point your toe. You can bring the foot as far forward or back as feels comfortable, and square your hips. So often in class, I see people doing this for their pigeon and then sort of leaning out to the right. That's not what we want. We want it to come over the left hip so that your right bum cheek is possibly off the mat. Tuck your left toes under. So remember, we're strengthening the hips first. And lift the knee off the floor. So don't do anything else, but let the knee come away. And you might feel how strong that is in your left glute. So we're strengthening and stretching the left side. If you want to go further, come up onto your fingertips if you weren't there already. Maybe try lifting up one arm. Maybe try the other arm. If you're feeling super powerful and you want to give it a go, squeeze in and lift both arms off and lift yourself up. So imagine you're squeezing everything into the center line. One more breath, you can lift up the arms. Good, and then soften down, untuck the back foot, and come into a resting pigeon. So, as I always say in class, try not to create stress in this one. Neck and shoulders, head can go wherever you like, and then sink into the hips. So let's stay here for a breath or two to really get that benefit. Really let go on the exhale. Good, and then come back up onto your hands. We'll do the coming out of this, so tuck the left toes again, give your right hip a little bit of movement now to release it. We were there for quite a long time. And then bring the left foot forward, out to the left, point the toe, slide back, keep the back toes tucked, and then draw the knee away, engage the right bum cheek. Give it a go if you want to lift one hand, lift the other hand, maybe both, squeeze inward, and then exhale and soften, and we'll take some nice long breaths here into the hip. So really use the inhale to get into this area. So you might also be holding it without realizing it, and you just need to let it go. Take one more breath. And then slowly bring yourself out. So there's some variations on pigeon, explanation for why I don't teach the parallel shin. If you've got any questions, please do let me know. So that was your pigeon for Jackie. See you tomorrow.